I would love to be able to take the time to give you like a full review on why I first decided to create Dreamport as a project. But as I said, time is like of the essence. So let me just say this quickly. My heart has always been and continues to be for the content creator to not feel alone, to have their voice heard as soon as possible in their journey, and to have a safe space where they're appreciated and they can connect with others like them. So, though the last 4 years we've tried our best to kind of focus and bless the really dedicated dreamers. But what we found in the last 6 months or so is that a lot of people we have started to come for the wrong reasons, and they're taking advantage of Dreamport and the genuine dreamers that are here. So it became really clear to me that we needed to put a stop to it, and that the only way that we were really gonna be able to do this is to be able to take the focus off of the money and the fun, not to get rid of it, but to take the focus off of that and to put the spotlight onto hardworking content creators that want to grow for the right reasons. Okay. So before I continue, let me just say that none of these changes were made lightly. A lot of the dreamers here know that I was gone for 3 months, and really not just the 3 months that I was gone on sabbatical trying to figure out what comes next, but even before that, just really feeling, and I think a lot of you in here, I've heard from you that you're really getting frustrated with the content that's out there, with the declining quality that we're seeing, and just seeing that people just don't really care anymore. So, the biggest push for me was to try to make Dreamport unappealing for people who are here just to take advantage. And I am 1000% okay with the fact that we may chase a lot of the wrong people away so that we can focus on the right kind of dreamer, because I want to protect what happens to our family from here on out. In a Not that I haven't, but in a better way, in a more focused way. So, okay, I'm going to try to go through this kind of in a bullet point first, and then I'm going to go back to tell you exactly what we're going to do. So, in the broad kind of shotgun approach, we're going to try to set ourselves apart and try to keep ourselves to a higher standard. Um, we're going to try to focus on better content coming into Dreamport. We are looking for better, more accurate curation. And we're going to be challenging our dreamers to continue to improve on their craft. We're going to be removing the incentive for the schemers to waste our time and focusing on our attention on the rewards that true dreamers will find appealing, focusing on connection and growth. We're going to be utilizing our time on Dreamport in the absolute best way possible. We're going to be taking away the barriers to writing genuinely. We're looking to reward the best while encouraging the rest. We're going to be trying to hone your skills at encouraging critiques. And yeah, I think that's basically the big, fast bullet point. Now I'm going to go back through each of those and give you the specifics on how we're going to try to do those things. So I started off with trying to set ourselves apart into a higher standard. And the way that we're going to try to do that is we are going to have our own Dreamport blog now. Um, it is going to be designed so that when you submit your post to Dreamport, nobody else in the whole World Wide Web is going to see that post except for other dreamers. So it's going to be protected in the very beginning. And we do this for you. Do this so that you will be able to, after that whole week of curation is over, you will be able to take your post, should you choose, and put it someplace else after the week of curation. But for that first portion of the curation, that first week, it's going to be on Dreamport blog. Okay, protected and private. Okay, now let's go to the next point, better content coming into Dreemport. Okay, so here's how we're going to try to do that. We don't really love the whole idea that we see happening on blogs and hive spaces right now and hive communities, which is they put out this standard topic to write on, and then everybody writes on it, and now everybody is forced to read 50 different posts about the same exact, prompt. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be removing those topic prompts, and we're also going to be eliminating our collaborations with other communities for a season. This may not be um, a permanent thing, but for right now, it was great and helpful in the past. But right now, we want to focus on our Dreamport culture to build a stronger foundation, one that's focused on the development of good writing. Um, and so, as I said, we're going to have a curation week instead of a daily curation because we are going to weekly submissions instead of daily submissions. And we think this is going to be really powerful because if you only have one post to submit into Dreamport to compete for that whole week, we think that that's going to be your best post. And we are also going to be giving you help making that post the best that it possibly can be. And I'll get into that in a little bit. Another thing is now you're going to have the opportunity to see many posts instead of just, 5 today and then another 5 tomorrow and then another 5. And they're all kind of like, you have to do your best to get as much as you can. And you can't see everybody and you feel bad because you're not really getting to see the best of everybody's, posts in that week because you're getting new content every day. Now that pool is going to be stretched out for the entire week. So when somebody submits a post, you're likely to see, the dreamers in that week. You're going to have 25 different opportunities to see submissions from that week. Okay. Um, we're going to, the next point is better, more accurate curation. The way that we're going to be doing this in the past, we had 5 posts a day that you were seeing randomly. And you had to remember as you were reading and coming back to it. Wait, what was that post about? Oh, do I really think this one was better than that one? How do I rank them 1 through 5 as best as I possibly can? Now we're going to give you 2 posts at a time in a head-to-head battle. So you're literally going to read 2 posts and you're only going to have to say which one did you like better? Which one was absolutely just the best one of the 2 that you read? And then you're going to get another set of 2 and another set of 2. So you'll have 6 basically in the week that you're going to be reading. I'm sorry, in the day that you're going to be reading, but instead of you having to rank them all against each other, you're going to look at the first 2 in the head-to-head battle, the next 2 in a head-to-head battle, and the third 2 in a head-to-head battle. We think this is going to be really helpful in keeping it easier to judge, and I think it's going to be a lot more fun also. When you think about kind of those like head-to-head battles where it's even just like silly things like rock paper scissors tournaments or whatever. It's like really quick, it's really fast, and the next person goes on, the next person goes on, and it just keeps everything moving. So the next point was we're going to be challenging our dreamers to continue to improve their craft. So this is, even though we are not going to be showing up every day with new content, which is a lot of pressure on a writer. Not everybody can write the best thing every single day, right? They need time to edit, to go back and look at it with fresh eyes. They even need time to have other people look at it and give their opinion. So what we're going to be doing, since you're kind of eliminating some of the pressure on your week, we're going to be adding in 2 sessions each week where we will all get together and we will just write. So it's kind of like Alessandra's creative work hour. But if you think about Alessandra's creative work hour, there was a lot of space for encouragement and kind of helping you with your anxiety. And it was, to me, it seems more like a counseling session almost, which is very valuable. but ours is going to be focused more on quiet time to get right into the writing. And should you choose, you will have the opportunity to book a tutor for that time where you will go to a breakout room and you will work on your post one on one with them. There may even be options for like group sessions if you want to kind of book it together. We think this is really important because that's how you really grow, not by just saying, reading, read your post, was so fun, love it, but for somebody to actually give you solid feedback that has read your post and says, I want to help you make this better. How can I help you make this better? So, and you're working on this throughout the week, and then you're going to be presenting this the following week for submission that all the dreamers are going to be looking at. We really think this is one of our favorite things, a win-win-win-win situation. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about removing the incentives for schemers. We have the schemers and the dreamers, right? And this was a hard one for me because I'm the kind of person that does not like to kind of like punish the group, like, oh, one person's doing something bad and taking advantage, and now I have to take something away from everybody. So, this was hard for me, but I thought, you know what? Sometimes you just have to make these decisions because it's better for the long run, right? The longevity of Dreamport as a project. We need to be able to kind of scare away some people who are only there for the wrong reasons. So September, as you guys know, when I went away for my sabbatical, I mentioned that anybody who was kind of still around during that time when I was gone and still doing the challenges and all of that submissions, there was going to be a special September treasure hunt. So we are still doing that. Of course, I'm going to honor that. That is the one that is the $500 treasure hunt, no whammies, and basically completely catered to the people that are there. So it's going to be the most the best opportunity that you've ever had in a treasure hunt to win some really awesome prizes, because there's nothing bad that's coming with the digs this time. It is literally all just various amounts of money that you can dig up in the treasure hunt. So we're still going to honor that. However, moving forward, we're going to put a pause on our treasure hunts. And again, that is because we want to scare away the people who are here for the wrong reasons. And we only want people here that are going to be there for the right reasons. Again, is this forever? Most likely not, but it's going to be for a season. We are also going to be taking away the curation rewards. There'll be a different way of rewarding the curation. And it will be in your best interest if you still want to be involved in those rewards to come every day to curate. You're going to have your best chance of getting your own work, ranked properly if you come and you show up every day. If you don't put your vote in every single day, that is totally up to you, but it will obviously affect everything, because if there's only a few people that are voting, those people are going to have the strongest effect on who goes up and who goes down, and you will not be able to kind of challenge that in any way if your vote is not there. So we still encourage people to come in and curate, and hopefully you're going to have a lot better content that you're reading that makes it a lot more enjoyable. So let's see, we're taking away the barriers to writing genuinely. That was the next point, sorry. How we're doing this is we're going to be implementing anonymity to Dreamport posts. So you're going to be anonymous. Nobody's going to be able to know by any identifiers, no usernames, URLs, or anything, because it's going to be submitted into Dreamport and you're going to be assigned an anonymous name. Nobody's going to know. And if we see any identifiers, like if you have a saying that you always put on the end of your posts and things that people know you by, we will encourage you to remove that before we submit it to everybody. There will still be screeners that are looking for those identifying things, and we'll just ask you, hey, can you just go ahead and resubmit this without those things so that people don't know exactly who you are. I think that there's a really positive thing about this. I know that when I write anonymously, it makes me completely uninhibited. I mean, if you think about it, you have your name and your face and your reputation associated with your blog, and there's a lot of societal pressure that wants you to speak a certain way and act a certain way. And when you get to remove that and you just get to share your heart without any kind of judgment on you outside of your blog, it really it just makes it a lot more free. Will this be 100% anonymous? Probably not, but it's going to be as anonymous as you desire. And so if you have a certain way of speaking and people are going to pick up on that, that's okay. We're not asking you to change your identity. We're just basically asking you to just try to put the content out there as anonymously as possible. That's all. Um, and I think it's going to help also with curation, because now you don't have that same feeling of, oh, this is my best friend and this is my brother, and I don't know who I should put up, higher. And I feel bad and I feel guilty. Now you're just having two posts to objectively critique, right? Okay, now we go to the next point, which is rewarding the best and encouraging the rest. Um, each week, Dreemport is going to be looking for the best post to actually purchase. If you so choose as a dreamer, and we ask you, hey, this is the one that we absolutely loved this week, we would love to buy the rights for this post. Then you can say, yes, yep, here you go. Like, and we will agree. And that will now be our post to do whatever we like with it. And you will not have the ability to submit that anywhere else. But because you won't have that ability, then that's why we're going to purchase it for you. We're going to kind of give you that reward. And so that is really going to be pretty exclusive, because we're looking for the absolute best, but we're hoping that it encourages the rest of the people, because you're seeing the kind of content, you're seeing the kind of passion that people are now, they're really kind of elevating their work. And we want you to be like, I want to be that next person. What we will do with the posts that we purchase, most likely, is it's going to be in a yearly compilation. That will be like the best of Dreamport for the year. And most likely we'll put it on Amazon in paperback and Kindle form. It's not really going to be a big thing that we're pushing as like a money making thing. It's really just an honor for you and something for us to kind of hold on to as, hey, this was 2025. This was 2026. Look at how our dreamers are really excelling, and they're getting better. They're honing their skills. Um, Again, I'm trying to move really quickly through this, so I know I'm throwing a ton of information at you. Just keep following along, and remember, you can come back tomorrow if you want, and you can have, tons of questions for me. I'll stay after this. Um, Also, honing your skills at encouraging critiques. Um, we've This is something new for the team members. You guys actually didn't get to hear this. Um, yes, there will be a way for you guys to comment on the person's writing. But instead of thinking this as a dialogue, instead of thinking this as a typical comment section, we're changing it to a review kind of system. This is going to be your chance as a critic to really put the most objective kind of appreciation or encouraging criticism that you can for the writer. And only the writer is going to be able to see this. At the end of the week, they will get all of their critiques sent to them. If you don't really have anything that really is going to add to the person's writing, is going to help them in some way, you don't need to write a comment. You don't need to do thanks for this post, I thought it was really great kind of thing. Remember, it's not going to be a comment section. It's going to be something that is only for the writer to actually read. We will also see that on the back end, and you will have the ability to kind of check, um, mark that this is available to be shared in the yearly compilation. So it's kind of going to look like, little reviews for the writer before they actually get to see the post. And if you don't want that to be shared, that's fine. You can just keep that unclicked. But if you do click it, then that will be like, we'll have permission to actually share that. If your blog is not chosen, as I said, you're going to be free to publish it anywhere you like after after the week of curate cover, because now the anonymous name that I was associated with is now everybody knows now is me because I put that on my Hive post. No, because the next time that you log in, you're going to be seen as a whole new anonymous name. It's kind of like when you go into Google Sheets and then they assign you like anonymous badger, anonymous Wolverine. It'll kind of be something like that. Also, um, we have this new thing that team you actually didn't get to hear, and I will share this for you for the first time too. You will be put into leagues according to your writing skill. So at the end of the week, if you have really kind of just dazzled everyone, you're going to be in the upper league. What does this mean for the next week? It means that you're going to see the majority of stuff that is up in that league with you. So water is basically going to be seeking its own level. If you're dipping down and you're kind of just getting like you're getting rated lower and lower, you're going to start to see people that are in that league. Just not necessarily lower quality, but not as high quality as the other ones, not as skilled and honed just yet, right? We still have the opportunity to bump out of that league the next week. You can still come in and you can be like, man, I am going to work so hard to get seen by that upper echelon. And so that is the opportunity for you to come in, get that tutor, utilize the time that we have in those, those one-on-one sessions or group sessions, and really say, I want to win this week. I want to start learning from some of the people that I'm reading. And I'll tell you this, the way that the metric is going to be working in like the very first day, you'll most likely see uh, a view of everybody. Okay. You're most likely going to see like a little bit of every league. But as the curation votes are coming in, it's going to start to, divide. And then as the week goes on, you're going to start to see people that are just in your league. So it's kind of like if you have a problem with what you're reading, just realize that is how other people are viewing your work as well. And so if you're thinking, I really thought my work was a lot better, but what I'm seeing, what I keep getting like, rated as is that I'm kind of in that same group. If you want to excel out of that, then you're hopefully going to be getting some critiques on your work that are actually going to help elevate you and help you see how to appeal to a writer in a different way. The final thing, I think I actually got through everything really, really fast. And I know I went over, but wow, man, we were moving. The final thing is we will be keeping the yearly trip to meet some of our dream team members as one of the big rewards, because to me that is my heart. That is really the heart of Dreemport, is true connection, where you actually get to put a face and a hug and a laugh and a meal, with the people that you've been writing with and just growing with throughout this time. And so the way that that's going to be rewarded, really quickly, I'll tell you this, but I think most people will probably understand it more as they're utilizing it. Um, when imagine you get first, let's say the end of the week, we have, okay, I'm just going to use Lucille because I saw her name last. We have Lucille is the winner at the end of the week. If you, when you got Lucille in your head-to-head battles that you were curating, if you put her as the top, then you will get a ticket. This is the best way that we can kind of reward curation that's being honest and genuine. Is it going to always be accurate? No, because maybe Lucille is up against somebody that literally was just right below her, and you happen to think that the other person was better, and that week you're not going to get that ticket. That's fine. If you keep coming back, you'll still keep getting tickets. And how that will work out is once you reach a certain number of those tickets, then we will redeem that for like a drawing um, ticket for the final final trip. That will not be able to be sold. That will not be able to be transferred to anybody else. The reason why we're doing it this way is because um, we want to protect the trip. We don't want just one person to show up one time in Dreamport and get one ticket and happen to be the one that gets chosen. We want to make sure that this is kind of a longevity thing. You've been here, you've been dedicated. Um, we will reward that once you reach a certain number of tickets to actually get redeemed. Um, there was one last thing that just flew right out of my head. Um, tickets and it flew right out of my head. Um, so will we ever go back to like the games and all of that kind of stuff? Uh, I would think so. I mean, I know my heart is also very much about fun and gifts and blessing people and just having a blast. But right now, like I said, it's more important that we are really focusing on becoming better writers and better communicators, um, and hopefully just better overall dreamers. Um, that was exactly what I was going to say, Pen. You're reading my mind. Yes. So that the topic that we are actually going to be focused on every single week is making it matter. Okay. So I just saw somebody talking about Abinad's crocheting. Did I see that? Yes, the Abinad with the crocheting post. So you are totally welcome to put in a crochet post. But if you do, we want it to be something that actually impacts us, that makes it meaningful to our heart. Not just a really pretty craft that you're doing, but maybe take the time to say, this is why I knew that I needed to even start crocheting. This is how it impacted me in my life. This is how it's changing my life. Maybe you've actually started a business where you've really changed your life in the last 2 or 3 years because now you're making a name for yourself, and now people are knowing you for your amazing, patterns, and maybe you're seeing how to even stretch this out into a website or whatever. We don't want to just see the awesome crocheting that you're doing, Abinad, right? We don't want to just see exactly Tango. It's exactly that. Why does this matter to you? And why should this matter to me? Because maybe I'm a person that absolutely hates crochet because it brings back memories of when my grandmother used to force me to, whatever. But maybe all of a sudden I read your post and I have a new reason to respect this art because, wow, I never thought of it that way. I never thought of it as something that could actually change a life or change a community. I mean, could it be something that powerful? Absolutely. Can you make us feel that? If you can, that's the kind of post that we want to see. That we want to see something that actually impacts us in a way that makes a difference in our lives. And after we read that post, we want to be like, oh, it's not like, oh my gosh, I just read the dumbest thing that got dumped into Dreamport, and I don't even know what that person was thinking. Like, we want to get rid of those posts. And believe me, I am not blind, and neither are the dream team, and neither are other dreamers. We have been seeing that stuff and going, how? How is this even here? We don't want that anymore. We want your best, and we want you to be happy to bring your best. And then we want you to be absolutely thrilled to read other people's best so that when you're finished curating, you're actually like, you know what? The last 20 minutes has actually improved my life because that's a technique that I want to start using in my own posts. Or that's a really good point that could actually make an amazing post next week because of what happened to me yesterday that I wasn't even going to write about, but now I'm inspired to write more. That's what we want. We want something that makes us extraordinary. We want Dreamport to actually be a place that is known for really good content and helping others to get even better content and become better writers. Okay, so I'm done now. Okay, so I did it in 31 minutes, guys. Are there any